Hello and good morning. Welcome to Heritage Matters for May 8th, 2026. A good morning to all, and I hope that everyone has been having a very good week. It's a short one for the work week because we had a holiday on Monday, the Labor Day holiday, and I trust that everyone had a good holiday and came back out to work with enthusiasm and energy, having had a whole day and the weekend before it to relax and take it easy. Maybe enjoy the beach and have a little picnic and stuff like that. So we're back out to work, and I hope that the week has been a very productive one for all. Today we have a guest who's going to be with us, but he's not here at the moment, so we will proceed with some other stuff so until he gets here, and then we'll talk about him and about what he is going to discuss. In the meantime, about him and about what he is going to discuss. In the meantime, is what is called a treasure hunt for a notable institution in St. Kitts for their staff. They were having a sort of fun day, and they requested a treasure hunt. And treasure hunts can be fun, and I think they did have fun. From the cheers and the noise at the end, it was obvious that they really had fun. But what I saw on that treasure hunt sort of made me smile. One of the tasks that had to be performed on the treasure hunt was playing a game. There's a place in town where there is a hopscotch ladder, let's call it that, drawn on the pavement. And they were asked to go there and to be filmed playing the game of hopscotch. And I was actually amazed that there were some people who got to the point where the game was. They were actually walking over it, but they were hunting for the hopscotch. They were walking on it back and forth. They left. They went to another site, did something, came back again, looking for hopscotch, and it's right there on the pavement, in paint. Not even in faded chalk, in paint. They still didn't recognize what it was. And they went again, and they came back a third time. Still couldn't figure it out. And it wasn't to say just one person, it was a team of persons. But I think on the fourth try, they finally figured it out. Maybe they had another input from another team member who knew what hopscotch was. And so it kind of tickled my memory and my thoughts about the games that we played as children. And it's kind of sad, in a sense, that, of course, the modern people wouldn't think so. But I guess for those of us who grew up with these things, we kind of feel that they are valuable things that are a good part of children's upbringing that has gone. Outdoor games, let's call them, outdoor games, where children got together even during school, and even when they finished school and on weekends and so on, when children got together, played these. Granted, it was a time when we didn't have internet, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have iPads, and in fact, in many cases, some of these kids didn't even have TV. So they entertained themselves by playing these outdoor games. Now, I compared it to today with all the electronic stuff. And yes, some of them are exciting, these electronic games that the children these days play. And they stay indoors, either sitting or lying down or reclining in a couch or sofa or laying on the floor, playing video games endlessly. I think something is being lost because these children are not getting any childhood exercise. They're not getting out and running and playing and chasing one another and getting their lungs opened, getting their legs strong, getting the ability to jump and to run and to do things physically, because they're not playing any of these games anymore. All they're exercising are their eyes, their brain, and their fingers. And you can see it sometimes when some of these children are required to do something physical, and they're sometimes incapable, or they get tired very quickly. I think it's got to be unhealthy. So I wish that maybe in the schools, when they have when they have PE and so on, maybe some of these things can be brought back as a way of getting the children to do fun and interesting things when they get together for things like picnics, and they get together for things like parties, birthday parties and so on. Maybe playing some of these games might help to give them that physical activity that they really, really need. I don't know if anyone out there can think of any of these games, but if you do and you're willing to call in, please do and share with us some of the games that you used to play when you were a kid, and maybe even as an adult too. The numbers to call, 466-0989 or 662-0989. 466-0989 or 662-0989. And I'm going to kick it off with that same hopscotch. It was a game where you draw these squares, and you had to drop a token in the square, starting at the lowest square, and then you hop to that square. The aim is to get to the top without making a mistake and back down again. And that was a lot of fun, especially girls. Girls used to love to play hopscotch. And it was a good way of learning physical coordination and dexterity, getting balance, learning to hop on one foot and switching from one to two, and that sort of thing. Very good exercise, very good hand-eye coordination, and balance is what it created. Then there was another game that was played. This one wasn't so much physical except for the hands, eyes, and so on, but it was a game of dexterity and skill. Jacks. I know the last time okay, I think we have a caller. Caller, good morning.
Oh, this is...
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning, caller.
Yeah, this is winnfm.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, let me say a few words here, please.
Okay, sure.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, are you hearing me? Hello? Okay. Seems as though we lost that caller, but caller, please call back. Seems as though we had a little operational glitch there, but try calling back so we can hear what you have to say. So I was talking about jacks. Jacks is a game played with these little metal objects that I think almost every girl had a set of jacks in her school bag, and it came also with a ball, a little bouncy ball, and you would spread the jacks. I don't recall how many jacks used to be, something like maybe said 10 or so jacks, and you would spread them off in a throw on the ground. Not a big throw, just a dice, like when you're throwing dice. And you would start by trying to pick up one jack, then two jacks at a time, then three at a time, then four at a time. You keep going until you can't pick up more, and then the other person get a turn. And the person who can pick up all the jacks in most jacks is the winner. And you have to bounce the ball. So you have to know how to bounce the ball to give you a little amount of time to pick up the jacks that you want. I think some used to bounce, some used to throw it up. And you would, while the ball is in the air, you then grab for whatever jack. If it's one, you grab a jack and you catch the ball. Right? I don't think you're allowed to drop the ball. Okay? So you catch it. Then you go and do it again, and you grab two, and you catch the ball. Then you grab three, and you catch the ball, and so on. And then it comes to a point where sometimes, how the jacks are spread out, you're not able to, in the space of the ball being in the air, to be able to grab the number of jacks you required in one go. So it required a certain amount of strategy, because if you go and pick up the jacks that are, let's say, in the middle, you're spreading out the other jacks that you might have more difficulty reaching before the ball comes back down. So there was a strategy of knowing which jacks to pick up to keep the other jacks that are close together, so that when you have the larger numbers to pick up, you can, in one swoop, grab these jacks and pull them up. So that was another one that we used to play. And then you had those games like Miss Mary Mac. It was a game especially also by girls, hand-eye coordination and the singing, where you have these hand movements that you put your hands together and you go upside down, you clap your hands and hit and so on and so on. A very energetic game, because sometimes you start slow and then you speed it up and you go faster and faster and faster until somebody makes a mistake. So that was another good one. Then there was one I can recall called Dog and Bone. Dog and Bone. This was where you had two teams, and they would have their home base facing each other. And in the middle of the space between them, there's an object there which we refer to as the bone. Okay? And each, on a signal, one member of each team runs towards the center where the bone is. And the aim is to grab the bone and run back to your base with it. But there's a catch there. You can't be tagged by the other person or you lose. So it's a very tactical game. So sometimes they'll run out and both reach the center at the same time. But you know that because the person is in such close proximity to you, if you grab the bone and try to run back home, he's going to tag you. So there's this kind of a cat and mouse game. Dog and bone. I think we have a call. Yes. Caller, good morning.
Good morning. I hear you talking about the jack game.
Yes.
The jack game, it was 6. What you got 1.
Oh, it's 6,
and then
it's 6
2.
jacks. Yeah.
You got 3. You got 4 and 2. 5 and 1.
Oh, okay.
And then you got 2.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
So it got more complicated as you go along.
Yeah?
So it got more complicated as you went along.
Yes. You got 2. You got your 1s and you got your 2s. Because it's 6, It's 6 jacks.
Yes.
You pick up 1 by 1 and then you pick up 2s and you got 3 and 3. You got 4 and 2, 5 and 1, and then you say 6. When you say 6, you put it together, and when you count in the bar, you pick up all 6. If one drop, you're out.
Right. I gather. I gather from that you used to play a lot of jacks.
Yes, it was a very nice game, and the dog and bone too.
Yes,
You
yeah.
look to freezing. You're freezing one another. The person they're playing with the bone now to grab it, but if they touch the bone and you grab them, they're out.
Yes. Yeah, you got
And they
them.
had one name, here we come, we're from London Trade. What's your trade?
London
Lemonade,
town.
that's
What's your
two
trade, yeah?
And then you start, you come to your group and you tell them what you do. And if the other group find out, you try to run. And if they catch one, you go on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Then was some sweet game, my son.
Yeah,
very,
man.
Very nice game when we growing up.
That is true.
Yeah, man, and he had one named Rabbit in the Cove.
Okay, tell me about that one.
Rabbit in the Cove, look, young got look. Me and you hold in the hand. And then somebody in the cove. And then you say, rabbit in the cove, and then the person try to run out the cove, and then you beat them till they fall in a cove. And then he had one the name, oh God, the one, I drop a letter to my love.
Right, I dropped a letter to my love.
You drop it behind somebody, and if they don't pick it up in time, you beat them, and they run around, and they drop it. And then they fall back. They say right back in the ring.
Okay.
Then was some good old sweet.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
Up.
You remember Brown Girl in the Ring? You remember Brown Girl in the Ring?
Oh, yes. There's a brown girl in the ring. And little Sally Water.
Right.
And we had one name, Old Rogers was there. Man, if you remember that one.
I don't know that one.
Let me tell you how that one go. You're going to get somebody, you're going to put them in the ring. Right? And then you're going to be singing. Somebody going to go over them, that we call it, they're going to be the apple tree. He said, Old Rogers was there and he lie in his grave. He lie in his grave. He lie in his grave. Old Rogers was there and he lie in his grave with a hero. Lie in his grave. And then you say, they came an old apple tree over his head. Over his head, over his head, there came an old apple tree over his head with a hero over his head. And then you say, the apple was ripe and they all fell down. They all fell down. And then you come and say, they had a old lady come picking them up. And then say, old Rogers get up and he hit them a blow. And then he make the old lady walk hippity hop, hippity hop, hippity hop. He make the old lady walk hippity hop with a hero, hippity hop. And then they say, old Rogers get up and he help, and it's when they walking like hippity hop. Old Rogers get up and he help her to walk, help her to walk, help her to walk. Old Rogers get up and he help her to walk with a hero, help her to walk. That's the end. That was a sweet one too.
Good. Okay, nice. Thanks for calling. We're going to take a break now,
okay,
and we come right back on Heritage Matters.
You're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean. Keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Imagine mom finally relaxing, comfortable, stress-free at home. This Mother's Day, give her that feeling every day. Enjoy 20% off furniture, appliances, and more. Everything to make her space easier, cozier, and better. Because comfort isn't extra, it's essential. Shop TDC Home and Building Depot today and make home her favorite place to be.
Okay, welcome back to Heritage Matters for today, 8th May 2026. And we had a little discussion there earlier on childhood games that we played. And we had one caller giving us quite a few of the things that she remembers playing as a kid. We could have a whole program on this because there are others like pitching marbles and tops and rounders and those sort of things that we didn't get a chance to talk about yet, but we can always talk about another time. But right now we have our guest with us, and he is Dr. Eric Brown. Dr. Eric Brown is a forestry officer, and he is also an agriculturist. Agriculturist, that's the correct way, right? So welcome, Dr. Brown.
Pleasant good morning. Thank you very much,
Great.
Mr. Hanley, for having me here today.
We're glad to have you. Thanks for coming, and we look forward to an interesting discussion with you. When it was it in February of this year, the History and Heritage Committee got together and organized, as is usual every year, the History and Heritage Month of Activities.
Yes.
And one of the events for that History and Heritage Month of Activities was a heritage hike. And that heritage hike was planned for Lambert's Estate. I think many people have heard of Lambert's Estate, but many people are unfamiliar with Lambert's Estate. It's one of those treasures, I would call it, that seems to be hidden and not much visited and not much known about. And you were invited to lead the hike in terms of when we get to Lambert's Estate, to give us a historical perspective on the estate and tell us all about what it was and so on. But before we go there, one of the reasons why that site was chosen is because, and I would say that I was one who decided on choosing it, because I find it to be one of the most impressive great house structures in the whole of St. Kitts. Mm-hmm. A large, impressive building that even had in it a small theater,
Yes.
right, with a stage, a double staircase leading up the front. And one can only imagine, as was the practice then, when the gentry came to the Great House, that they would come on horse and carriage.
Right.
And they would alight in front of those stairs, and the ladies would pull up their long skirts and walk up the stairs.
The can-can.
And the can-can and so on. You know? And it must have been quite an impressive sight, an impressive place to be. And truthfully, I've had such... every one of my visits there, I've just been marveling at the structure. It appears as though at some point in time somebody tried to restore it,
Yes.
but they reached a point, and they did quite a good job up to that point. But it seemed at some point they stopped. I don't know for a reason why. Maybe you can help us there. But right now it went back to being abandoned and fall to ruin with a lot of bushes and so on growing over it. But for the particular event, we cleared some of it so that people can get a chance to see it. And you gave us quite a wonderful presentation on the estate. And I thought it's something that maybe we could bring to the public too. Those who weren't able to come to that heritage hike to hear about and know about Lambert's Estate. So tell us a little bit about Lambert's Estate.
All right. Now, Lambert's Estate, as you have rightly said, is one of those areas that one should be proud of, that we should be proud of. Mm-hmm. It was, it had undergone some restoration work some years back. From what I gathered is that the person who was doing the restoring, a gentleman, he got ill and so was unable to really continue with
Okay.
the works. However, because the whole area was cleared prior to him undertaking that work, what has happened, even though it is now overgrown, it has not as yet quite adversely affected the work that was done. But suffice to say, vegetation is something that works very quickly. And so a site like that, I must encourage that it should be uptaken by someone, some entity, in order to clear the rest of what is of that overgrown vegetation. And that area could be used for events. You know, it's a good background, a good backdrop, you know, with its wealth of history to us. It's a very good background to have some cultural events there.
Yes, because I remember even after we visited the building itself, we actually congregated outside under a large tree on a sort of semicircular courtyard in front.
And even by that courtyard, while you were standing facing the building, what was to your back, which is towards the seaside, is also a whole nother world.
Yes.
Because the great house represent the luxury of the gentry.
The planter and the gentry, yeah.
But right in front of it was the sugar works.
Aha.
So it still has the chimney and the boiler house and all of that still down in those overgrown bushes.
And there are actually some machinery in them still. The remnants of some
Yes.
of the old sugar machinery.
Because actually coming through from that area, if you would witness when you were leaving, you would have seen that the actual entrance to the property is towards the seaside.
Right.
Where in the restorative work, they actually restored that gateway and that, you see that carriageway or that driveway that would have passed that production site.
Right.
That production site, I could also recall, before it got so overgrown, also underwent restoration as well. So there's a lot of the whole treasure. Most of it is hidden among that.
Yes,
that
because when we
vegetation.
went there in February, we couldn't even visit the sugar works.
The sugar works.
Because they were
Heavily
overgrown.
overgrown. You know. So, but I went to the bush, and it is still intact. It's still, the restorative work is still intact, right? And that could be rescued. That could be rescued. So I would call that whoever entity has the ability to go and
But
rescue it.
let's talk about that, because you said it was being restored by an individual.
Yes.
Does that or did that individual own the property?
From what I gathered, my information says no. There was some sort of agreement that they were restoring it under. But from what I've gathered, the property is still government property. It still belongs to the crown, right? It still belongs to the crown. So we have not lost that property. It still belongs to us, the people.
So it's no foreigner who
No.
owned
A
it
foreigner
or the-
was doing the work, but from what I gathered...
Not that there's anything wrong with it
Right.
being owned by a foreigner, but
Of
because
course.
sometimes you'll find many of these foreigners sometimes have a greater sense of heritage and
yes.
restoration and so on. And sometimes they have the money.
And it's evident that
To
he had
put
the
in,
money and
yeah.
he had that consciousness towards heritage, because we here speaking about what the restorative work is. We cannot do justice here. Persons have to actually see it.
Yes,
They
yes.
have to actually see it. A quite bit of work went into that.
I can see that. Yeah.
And
That's
we're
true.
talking about stone masonry, which is far more expensive
And intricate.
than conventional masonry.
Right.
So you'll find, and those walls, man, when you look at those majestic walls that were restored, which are double-layered walls, which means you have a stone wall, an inner stone wall, an outer stone wall, with a middle portion that it would normally have in rubble, small stones, sand, and all kind of thing. That wall serve a number of purposes. Not only protection from the element like a normal house wall would do, but protection from uprising. Small mortar rounds would not be able to penetrate. And if you were able to hit out the first layer of stones, you have that middle portion that absorbs shock.
That's right.
Then you still have the inner portion for protection. Also, because we're in a tropical region, extreme heat, then you find that middle portion acts as insulation. And so inside, we witnessed that. Outside was hot. But once you get inside the building,
It was cooler.
It was much cooler.
Because the heat didn't penetrate the wall. It was buffered, especially in the middle, by the soft inside.
Right. Right. Even also when you talk about humidity. If you have a single wall, you're going to have, some people say the wall sweating, but it's humidity, moisture coming in. Now, when you have that double wall, that inner layer also helps to absorb that moisture that is coming from the outside. So unlike you find medieval castles up in Europe who was damp on the inside because many times they did not have that kind of thing. But ours now, down here, our structure would be not just cooler, but it would also be drier on the inside when it's necessary. So you find these are things that we have to look at. And why we want to talk about when it comes to heritage, who built these?
Exactly.
Who built them?
That's the thing.
Our ancestors came from Africa with the know-how, with the knowledge. And each one of these stones inside there were carved individually. So imagine you look at, and many of them it makes our look so uniform, right? And they didn't have the modern technology that we have today. But guess what? Our modern technology cannot duplicate what our ancestors have done.
Machines can just simply cut a straight line and give you a what I would say a smooth, polished finish.
Yes.
But somehow I think the persons who appreciate stonework recognize that the rough finish is the more desirable finish.
It is. Not only that, the way these guys set those stones, they're immovable. They've been standing for how long? For centuries. You know, and that structure there, the original walls, have been there from the 1700s.
So that estate was built in the 1700s.
It was built in the 1700s.
Any idea of our close to the date?
Now, according to the data that we have, it was owned by Miss Priscilla Lambert. Now,
hence the name of it after the
family's name, Lamberts. And so you find that was recorded way back in 1753.
Okay.
According to Samuel Baker's map of 1753. That area was recorded as belonging to Priscilla Baker, and she died in 1757. So when Samuel Baker made his map, and of course, you know, these map persons were also surveyors.
Yes.
Right? And when they did that, he did his surveying there. Right? Lambert Estate had existed, and that structure was there. Right? So when we go back and we think about history, that is a legacy. That was built by our ancestors. And back then it was also maintained by our ancestors. So it is, the onus is upon us.
So these kind of structures, yes, the circumstances under which were built wasn't something to be proud of.
Right.
Something to be decried, you know, not supported. But at the same time, yes, it was what happened.
Right.
We have to recognize what happened in history. And two, we have to try and get the positives out of these things.
Right.
And when you think of the skill, the endurance, the labor that went into these things, you know, I often say, and I use that when I look at places like even Brimstone Hill, built under the same conditions and so
Right.
on by skillful Africans who were enslaved. But to me, these structures are monuments.
Right.
Monuments to their skill,
Their skills,
their endurance, and their
their
perseverance,
their
and
knowledge.
and their knowledge. And to just destroy them is like taking your mother's piece of crockery that she spent a lot of time making with love and care, and then one day just dashing it on the sidewalk and breaking it into pieces.
When we look at these structures, the testimony, and when we look at them, you're right when you said they were not built under the best of circumstances at all. But however, when we look at these, our mind should take us to who were these people who constructed these monuments? Who were they? And who were they would also answer the question, who am I?
That's so good, yeah.
And who am I? Now, back then, you introduced me as Dr. Brown. But back then they had doctors too. They came with the knowledge of the herbs, medicine. They call them witch doctors, But they were persons who came with that knowledge. And today, modern medicine is an imitation, especially talking about the medication that you get prescription for, are just imitations of the same herbal remedies.
A modern derivative of. Yeah.
Right? But they cannot reach, up to today, they cannot reach to exactly duplicate it. Why? Because the doctor back then knew what plant to use for what. But they also knows the dosage. They also knows which one is not to be used for certain ailments as well. Whereas today what they do is that they cannot duplicate the plant because the same active ingredient in that medicine also have in the plant stabilizers. But they cannot duplicate that condition that a plant has within itself. That is why if you watch a commercial for any medication, this may cause nausea. You're trying to treat one thing, and
a long list of
adverse effects.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas when it came to the herb, you were not getting that as much.
Well, I believe you got some of it, but they knew how to dose it in such a way. But funny enough, on the other hand of that is that the modern doctors, because they are so accustomed now to the modern method of extracting the active ingredient from the plant, they put it together in a pill or in a syrup or whatever for you to take either in liquid or tablet form. But as you said, they extract the active ingredient, but it comes without the other things that sort of
works with it
in the plant, which is like a complete unit.
Yes.
Because they've identified what the active ingredient is, and so let us focus on the active ingredient.
And that.
The rest is a waste. Yeah. And so they did that. But you'll hear the modern doctors say that they don't encourage people to use plant medicine, which is traditional. And the reason they give for that is that there's no dosage, and the dosage is important. You see, they have extracted it, measured the dosage, and worked out in the lab, how much does what. But I think the old folks also did something similar over time.
They
discovered how much was too much and how much was too little.
Right.
You see? And so they could quite well determine, okay, for this particular ailment, this amount of leaves in a steep, and you drink that 2 times a day, does the job.
Not only that, my mother also, I could recall, she would tell me which leaves to go and look. and she would tell me which leaves I could combine and which I could not combine.
Okay.
She would also tell me not only how much leaves, but at what time of day.
Yeah.
There are certain leaves she would tell you don't pick them at night, right? And it's when I go now and I study now, when I go with the agriculture now, and I realize and I look at the natural processes that happens within a plant and what products are produced and under what condition and when and what time of day, is then I realize, understand why she would tell me, do not pick that particular leaf at night. Because at night, certain compounds would increase in terms of their levels within the plant.
Yes, and they do
whereas
that.
in the day, the plant may use it back up.
Because you learn in basic biology
Right.
that plants in the daytime take in carbon dioxide
Right.
and give off oxygen, which is what we rely on.
Right.
But in the night, that process is reversed.
Is reversed, and not only that, the medicine that we look at in the plant many times accumulates during the night. But it accumulates in high levels during the night, and it is reduced in
the day.
So that is why they say most of them you look those leaves during the day. Isn't that dosage that they're talking about?
Yes.
That same dosage is what they're referring to.
and a little beyond active ingredient.
Exactly. And how did they know that? They did their studies as well.
Over time.
They didn't have a fancy lab.
They might have made some mistakes, give
Of
somebody
course.
too much, and okay, that didn't work too well. Maybe if you reduce
You
it,
see?
then it works well when you take 2 leaves instead of 4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It works better if I add a little honey.
Yeah.
You know. So these over the years, and this tradition was passed down. We're still talking about heritage, eh? Because many times, why is it some persons would think today we lose certain things? It's because that part of our culture, that hand-me-down,
Got lost.
We look at the Nancy story as nonsense. We look at the Brer Rabbit story them as nonsense. Even the games that I came and I heard you all talking about the different games and this. Many of those games are also messages handing down. Tradition being handed down. But
And skills.
And
A
skills.
lot of those games require certain skills.
Certain skills.
Yeah.
And then guess what? It gets lost because we get modernized.
Okay. Now, when we come back, we're going to continue that conversation about the loss of heritage over time. We'll be right back.
Found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
It's here. The all-new Toyota RAV4 has arrived at TDC Automotive with bold styling, advanced technology, and the versatility to match your lifestyle. This is the SUV built for wherever the road takes you. Now available. Get yours today or place your order with our team. Visit us at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate in Nevis. TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason.
Okay, welcome back to Heritage Matters. And we have with us here today Dr. Eric Brown. He's an agriculturist and forestry officer here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And we began our conversation by speaking about Lambert's Estate, one of, to me, the most elegant and impressive great house structures in St. Kitts. And when we took a break, we were talking about the loss of heritage over time because of the fact that things that were known in the old days were not handed down and have been lost. For example, the way we use plants as a form of medicine. There are still people today who are very much into herbal medicine. The modern doctors, they sometimes frown on it because they legitimately would say that it's not good to use them because you don't know the correct dosage, whereas medicine extracts the active ingredient and puts it in doses which they consider safe to be used. But as you know, doses are also pertinent to the size and age of a person. Okay, but over time, we have lost a lot of the information that was there before that made it safe and good to use these things.
That's one of the key things, is that regardless to what the doctors believe and what they do, one of the key things that is that we have lost the traditional knowledge. We have lost that knowledge of these herbal remedies. Because a lot of these herbal remedies were also incorporated in our daily food, right? And we have moved away also from the traditional foods. A lot of this traditional medicine were actually used as condiments. You're talking about rosemary and the basil and all of these. They were actually not, many times were not just standalone medicines, but were incorporated in your food, in preparing meals.
Yes.
And so therefore, because the intake of these was a regular thing and part of one's meal, that also was used as preventative medicine.
Yes.
Because
rather than when things happen, become a cure.
Right. It was more preventative, right? So then what you find is that today, most of medicine, and we must acknowledge it, is not driven by health. It's driven by economics. we got to call a spade a spade. It's driven by economics. And persons would more go to who benefits economically would more drive than health. Medicine, think of it. In order for pharmaceuticals to strive, you must be sick. I'm going to repeat that. In order for pharmacies to exist, sick people must exist. However, back then, the traditional medicine was geared towards you being healthy. And so, therefore, we have to adapt that. If we have to rescue our heritage. We got to rescue those things. We got to go back to basics. And we have to educate ourselves on what these herbal remedies are or what these traditional foods have been, the traditional way of preparing foods, Today, even our condiments have a lot of preservatives in them. Back then, we were eating more fresh foods, right? Straight from the ground. You realize where I'm going back? You now have to go back to where agriculture becomes key. Cultivating. Eat what you sow, And we have to go back and we have to rescue all of this. rescue everything that is around us in terms of the environment. And one other thing what you find is that persons no longer have an appreciation for what we have. We prefer to embrace something that somebody else outside bring to us.
I call it the drugstore culture.
The drugstore culture.
It's only good if it comes out the drugstore.
Out the drugstore. We want something that somebody else bring to us, but we fail to realize there's a phenomenon. It still happens in the world today. These same pharmaceuticals people would send agents around the world, and you go and you see you're entertaining a tourist. He's on tour. But what is his objective? He comes and he goes and you talk to him about the herbal remedies. He takes a sample without you knowing. Put it in his luggage, put it in his bag, and he goes back. Now, the person you're seeing there is probably one who works in a lab, and they go and they do their research. And before you know it, you go into any pharmacy. Oh, this is the new wonder drug. Is you give him? Is me give him?
Yeah.
He went and he...
They knew nothing about it until they spoke with the locals.
The new frenzy right now, we talking tradition, soursop.
Yes, I was actually going to mention that.
Soursop is a new craze.
Yeah.
Because they found that it can treat cancer.
And as you realize, they're being a one by one. Remember when noni was the big thing?
Noni was the big thing. Now soursop is the big thing. But guess what? That moringa, you remember moringa?
Yes, moringa, yeah. The what they used to call it? Yeah, the something plant, but the higher plant with the highest nutrition in the world.
If you look at all of the data, all the vitamins and minerals, it's higher than the other plants that you would expect to have. Even vitamin C is more than a lime and more than an orange. Now, all of these things is good for us. But we come up with a hype and then we drop it down. But we fail to hold on to it. But there's somebody from outside have to come back and tell you, boy, soursop good for cancer. But we had it all the time.
Yeah.
But then
we ignored it because we preferred to go in the supermarket and buy the fancy stuff that is sold on the shelves.
I grew up drinking bush tea. Soursop bush was a norm for the night.
Yes, I remember drinking lots of soursop bush.
Because if you come home tired and you know, some of you are so tired you can't even get to sleep. You want to go to sleep, man, soursop bush.
Yeah.
I remember when my little brothers and little sisters giving trouble in the night. My mom wants to quiet them down. Bush tea. Get some soursop. Mosquitoes used to bother you. You get a cold pot. Light that cold pot. Wait till the coals get hot there. No flame. You get the same soursop bush, green soursop bush. Put it on top of that coal pot. Put that coal pot in the middle of the house. We call it smothering. And you let that smoke throughout. Then you go about your business, you go outside, you lock up the house, you go outside, tell some Nancy stories outside there, play some ring games, you know what I mean? When you're ready to go to sleep, you take out the coal pot, you open the house, let the smoke go out. You sleep like a baby. For two reasons. Mosquito, all gone. But you also, with the remnant of the smoke there, tranquilize you. You get a beauty rest. All of these things.
Yeah.
Lemongrass. You go in the jug so you get citronella oil and all of these.
Come straight from there.
Come straight from there. Right? I remember the Defense Force camp, the residential part of it, the guys were complaining about mosquitoes. Hey, I just went and got some lemongrass, soursop bush, some sage. And I got some hamon. Poured it in the lake and let it dry for overnight. Took that liquid and I went and I do my spraying. When I asked the guys what's going on, they said they're sleeping good. These are knowledge that was handed down. So we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
Our heritage. What's the meaning of our folklore? What are they actually depicting? The masquerade, the mummies. What are they actually depicting? What are the stories behind them? When you're looking at them dancing, do you know the story that is there?
And that's what they're doing. They're telling stories.
They're telling stories. But do you know what the story is? Right? The bull. Only because the bull actually have talking in it.
That some people have found it out. And
They have found it out.
They think the story.
The story. But all of these things we got to
Coming out of, what's the name of the estate there again?
Belmont Estate.
Belmont Estate.
True story. You know, it's good I see all of these things being tradition, being rescued. But at the
Yes.
same time, although it's being rescued, I've seen it done, I see they're getting the young people involved. Still more work needs to be done as to why. Don't just show it as an entertainment.
Yeah, we had a gentleman on last program, Stanley Carey. He was with the mummies. He had a mummies group, and he also get involved with a lot of the other folklore traditions, giant despair, school children, nigger business, David and Goliath, and so on. And he amazed me because he sat there and he could recite a lot of the verse from a lot of these acts. And that's the first time I had a chance to listen to these verses and recognize, oh, okay. And that's the story.
As a little boy growing up, me myself have lost those verses, right? By not hearing them.
Yes.
I've lost the verses.
Because memory requires repetition.
Yes. One of the troops I used to be one of those who used to follow the, as we call them, sports. From one village to the next, and sometimes I don't even know where I am.
Yeah, he's talked about that too. You know, that you'd start, because these things used to move. They go from village to village. And sometimes some people get so caught up in the sweetness of the drum.
And
the activity of the sports, as they used to call them, that sometimes they end up way in the country and, oh my God, how do I get out here?
How do I get back?
Just following, yeah, and there was no easy transport then.
And here's the thing, many times where you end up, the people who are in the sports troop end back up in their village.
Yeah.
So they're done.
And they're not taking you back.
They're not taking you back.
And he gave some funny things where, in particular, young ladies, they will be so caught up with this, they go and they go and go. And when they find themselves in a village and the sports finish there, as you say, because they reach home, they know how to find their way back. But it's the next day.
It's the next day.
And when they get home, the mother asks them, where you been, young lady? Right? Oh, I was father. Oh, well, where you come from?
Go back.
And so they found themselves in a quandary.
Because you know why the mother was like that?
Yes.
She ain't believe you were following no sport.
That's right. That's right. It's just an excuse because you went to find whatever you went to find.
Now, one of the sports that I loved a lot, but it is there, you could see the actors, but they're not doing the act, is the cowboy and Indians, especially the Indians.
They're just trying to come back.
They just try. The Indians, I used to like to follow the Indians, and I like the act and everything. Everybody is afraid the Indians. Because the Indians will look kind of violent. But one thing I did love is what they used to be saying. You know, the 3, 4, 5, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he dead or be he alive, I'll crush his bones to make my bread.
Right.
You know, and the different names that they give to each one of the Indians. I can remember some of them, Ripath. And Ripath was this one they would send out on a hill, and Ripath, and they would stay down there in a circle, and the chief would say, Ripath, come to chief call. He comes down with a whole heap of noise. And I see that guy who was playing Ripath rip through a barbed wire fence. No scratch. Rip through the barbed wire fence. And when he come down and the Indians go wild up and down, man, Those are those.
That was exciting.
Right? And then my mother would have been there and she would explain to me exactly what is it, the story behind each one. Why they're fighting. Why they carry tomahawks. Why they carry knife. Why they use them. Then she will show me is a resistance. Is a resistance to being colonialized. Is a resistance to remain free. And so they would fight. So the different names that each one had was not just made up names. They were given name to depict parts of the resistance.
And the story, yeah.
Because rip-off. Why you name a man rip-off? Because they felt ripped off.
I get you.
You know, and they had these different...
And so he was rebelling against being ripped off.
Being ripped off, right? Being ripped off. Being scammed. And also being ripped from his home. And all of these things. So you find all of these are stories that they were passing down the stories. Because remember, they got to pass on the stories in a form that would not really offend the gentry.
And provide entertainment.
And provide entertainment. But
and sometimes they put it in a, as you say, a disguised way.
Yes.
That those who it's intended for will understand.
Would understand.
But those who don't will just find it as entertainment.
The plant across European back then, he couldn't understand nothing these Africans were doing.
And the thing is, in those days, they forbade them from speaking their original languages.
No.
So they had to find ways of using English.
So they synchronized.
But in a clever way that referred to the gentry and to whatever, in such a way that it makes it look like you are speaking well of them.
Yes.
You know, but at the same time, to the others, you are making fun.
You're making fun of them, actually. Now, when we speak about language, that's another thing, right? Now, if you would hear me speak many times, many persons would look at me, but you're not supposed to be a doctor. I said, what do you mean? You're not speaking like. I said, do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. I said, well, that is what language is about. Communicating is you understanding and be able to respond to me. Now, how I speak normally, and person wouldn't let you know, I speak a lot of what we refer to as dialect. And it is something that I do consciously. Why? Because that's my language.
Yeah.
You tell the Chinese man don't have Chinese.
Exactly.
You
And
tell the French man don't have French.
That's how language came about.
But many times when you hear a Frenchman speak, you don't even know if this Frenchman is speaking proper French.
Yeah.
But you're going to want me to say, speak good. You know, talk properly. And we have lost a lot of the traditional way of speaking because of that. Where parents would tell the child, speak properly. What is speaking properly? Speaking the English tongue. But guess what? I'm not from England. Other than, have you ever listened to someone from England and listened to them speak? Man, they massacre the English language as well.
Yeah, there's some different, just like here, different parts of England speak a different kind of English, yeah.
I've listened to some fellas from, and I can't understand nothing they say.
They're probably blowing me.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not about the accent, it's what they're actually saying. You cannot understand what is it they're saying. Right? So, therefore, I would tell our people, embrace your language. Embrace your language. That is your expression of who I am.
And we use it among ourselves. But we have to recognize sometimes that trying to communicate now to people who are not of
now everything have its place.
Our society,
right?
Then they wouldn't understand us,
right?
So then we have to adjust now to speak so that we are understood.
Because I like how places like Suriname, Jamaica, went about and have their own dictionary. For their own, even some of the patois in some other areas have, their own dictionaries and everything. Well, what about us here? No, we start talking like the Americans now. right? And we pride ourselves in speaking like the Americans. I had an incident when I was in Cuba, when I was studying in Cuba, and had some missionaries came down from the U.S. And we had to be translating for them. And the incident was that as the American is speaking, I'm translating. Now, the American now, speaking to me, he then start asking, what did you just say? What did you just say? So a Cuban lady was saying, now she started saying, I do not know why they call him, meaning me, when he can't even speak English properly. The American grabbed her by the arm and said to her, you have it wrong. I'm the one that not understanding him, but he's speaking the original English. We speak the American English, which is a derivative, but he's speaking standard English. That is why I have difficulty. So you see there, the communication is a time and place for everything, but at the same time, do not bash what is authentically ours. Because a lot of our dialect is actually a mixture of what is English from Europe and the African terminologies.
You know, there are some places, we talk about Creole,
Right.
which is like in Dominica and those kind of countries where French influence was high.
Right.
So they spoke a sort of French
Right.
derivative with English and African words
Well,
intermingling.
intermingling.
Okay.
No.
And then you have the same thing down in the Dutch islands, Curacao and Aruba, we have the papiamento.
Right.
Okay, which was because of the proximity to Venezuela
Right.
and the Spanish, some English influence and the Dutch influence. A language came up that mixed them all together and created a different
What?
thing.
Even the popular Spanish language is not a pure language.
No, because depending on where you go, there's Mexican Spanish, there's Brazilian.
Right.
Yeah,
but
there's-
even
there's-
in Spain itself, let's go back to history, way back to Columbus time. You remember when Columbus went to ask for help the first time of Queen Isabella? He was told he has to wait because she's dealing with a matter which was the Moors. That was when the era of the Moors was at its end in Europe. But it was the Moors who brought civilization to Europe, specifically to Spain. The form of dressing, building, their culinary arts, or it was even their governing system, their monetary system, was actually brought there by the Moors. And who were the Moors? Africans. They were the ones who actually made actual civilization out of Spain. Therefore, if you learn Spanish, you will notice there are a lot of terms in Spanish that is actually derived from the Moors. Also, when you go to these different countries that speak Spanish, in Cuba, I studied agriculture. And then that common tool that you know as the hoe. In Cuba, you call it the butaca.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that one.
The butaca is not a Spanish word. Butaca actually came from the Tianos, the Awak.
The Taino.
Yes, it actually is a word from them, right? Which is their word for hoe. But the Spanish took it up. And in Cuba now you go and you say, butaca. They know it's the hoe. But it is not a Spanish term.
The word hurricane
Hurricane.
came from those same people.
Huracan. Because huracan in mythology, right? Huracan is actually a god. The god of the winds, of storms, from down in Africa. So, because English do not have a word hurricane.
Well, they have a word now, but
They have it now,
derived
but
from.
it derived from. So therefore, how did it come about? It's by the African describing what is happening. And he says, huracan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good. We're going to take a break now and we'll come right back. But before we go, I'd just like to mention if anyone wants to come into the program by calling, you can call 4660989 or 6620989. We'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
It's here. The all-new Toyota RAV4 has arrived at TDC Automotive with bold styling, advanced technology, and the versatility to match your lifestyle. This is the SUV built for wherever the road takes you. Now available. Get yours today or place your order with our team. Visit us at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate in Nevis. TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason. Not sure what to get, Mom? We've got you covered. From stylish furniture to practical appliances to everyday upgrades. Find the perfect gift in-store or online at shoptdc.com. And if you're still unsure, give her a TDC gift card so she can choose exactly what she wants. TDC Home and Building Depot. The perfect gift made easy. Easter is a season of fresh starts, new plans, and moments worth celebrating. This year, crack open extra funds with a TDC Financial Services Easter loan with up to $50,000 available to help you do more this season. Whether you're planning Easter activities, taking care of home projects, traveling to see loved ones, or simply giving yourself some breathing room, TDC Financial Services is here to help. Enjoy affordable rates, fast approvals, and flexible repayment options, all designed to make borrowing easy and stress-free. So don't let your plans stay in the shell. Crack open extra funds with TDC Financial Services today. Apply at TDC Financial Services on Central Street in Bastyr, St. Kitts, or Main Street in Charlestown, Nevis. TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Okay, welcome back to Heritage Matters. And today we have with us Dr. Eric Brown. He's a forestry officer and an agricultural person. Now, I think we had a caller who was wanting to come in. Caller, good day. Caller, good day. Okay, they probably. But caller, if you wish to call back in, we'll be glad to have your call. So please try again. Yes. Now, one of your substantive roles is forestry officer. Now, tell us what that entails.
Now, as a forestry officer, I see about whatever issues that has to do with pertains to forestry, of tree stands that is in St. Kitts, mainly St. Kitts I work with. But federally as well, I would respond as well if needs be. Now, here where we deal with anything, we have our Central Forest Reserve, National Park, that is any lands above the 1,000 foot contour by law is a protected area.
Okay.
We also have the Royal Bastille Valley National Park. That is that area that is around there by the King Collins Highway, right? And we also have the Booby Island Nature Reserve. Also, all of these comprise our protected areas, and they are protected by law, which means we do not stop persons from enjoying these areas, but they are there to protect the flora, the fauna, the biodiversity, as well as key resources, especially when it comes to Central Forest Reserve. We're talking about our water.
Water.
It is that forest reserve helps with the precipitation, captures that moisture, and facilitate the precipitation or rainfall. Also, it facilitates that soaking in or percolation of water into the soil and replenishing our groundwater. So our
Aquifers.
our fresh drinking water, whether they come from natural springs in the mountain or sunken wells, is that Central Forest Reserve that facilitates the greater part of that water. And so it is of utmost importance that we preserve, we conserve these areas.
And protect.
We protect these areas. So we try as much as possible to safeguard them. Central Forest Reserve, no cutting of trees without permission. Right?
Above that 1,000 foot
Above that 1,000 foot contours. Within those boundaries, there are some areas that traditionally has farming. We do not take away the farming, but we monitor what is being done so as to conserve the soil and conserve the area. Right? It's also an area that supports livelihoods. And we are also there to conserve persons' livelihood as well. We have tour guides who use it. That's their livelihoods. They make a living from that. Persons will also gain certain products. You talk about the sarsaparilla, which only grows in the forest, right? And all of these, you talk about even fishing is supported by the forest, although the sea is so far. How? The fish traps.
Yes.
The sticks to make these fish traps comes from the forest. They are harvested from the forest as well. So that is another livelihood.
And they're special sticks because the wood from those lasts longer in the water without rotting or deteriorating than most.
And they're quite sturdy.
And they're very sturdy.
Right. The good thing about them also, they replenish naturally once the harvest is controlled. And so far, the harvest, because those that are harvesting are conscious that this is what their livelihood depends on, they harvest. I actually observe them as they select and not just go in and just
cut.
They actually go through and select what they need for their traps. So you find all of these things, we got to be mindful. This is part of our heritage. It's our cultural heritage as well. Now, there are persons, and one of the reasons why I wanted to come here today is I always want to educate our people. We must know what these resources are and must learn to respect these resources.
Absolutely important.
You go into the forest. Now, persons, I'm going to put it like this. You go into the courthouse, and you have all kind of rules and all kind of ways. And you ever see anybody go inside the courthouse and try to violate any one of them?
They put in their place if they do.
They put in their place if they do.
The judge will shut them up or give them what you may call it, what they call this thing, contempt of court.
Right? So when you're in the court, you're on your P's and you're on your Q's. When you go into church and the service is ongoing, reverence, right? A lot of respect. Now, when you go down to government headquarters, as soon as you step inside, you also have a sort of decorum.
Yes.
So when you come in the forest, why you feel like you can do as you feel like? And persons do not respect. I don't get water from government headquarters. I don't get water from the courthouse. I don't get water from any place but in the Central Forest Reserve. And I cannot live without water. I could do without going in the courthouse.
And your voice is much
And I
better.
have courthouse. You know. But then in the Central Forest Reserve that give me all of these resources, that give me a quality of life.
That literally gives you life.
Life. Because I tell people, picture, if you want to know how important something is, picture not having it.
Yeah.
Picture not having it. Picture not having that lush mountain and it's bare. Picture that. This means you have no water. You're in a desert kind of situation. You realize life would not be as you know it. Many of us would not even survive a condition like that.
This is why in many countries, especially large so-called developed countries, where development was apace, where wood was the main material for development.
Right.
It built houses.
Yes.
It built carriages. It built structures, dams, etc., all sorts of things, ships.
Right.
You know, and so people were cutting forests literally indiscriminately because they needed these things to do these various things. Then they came to a point where, oh my goodness, it's getting harder and harder to find the wood because we're cutting it down so profusely.
I'm glad you touched that, Mr. Hanley. The very first product that was exported from St. Kitts was not tobacco or indigo. It was not cotton, and it sure was not sugar cane. It was timber.
It's timber.
Picture the whole of our landscape from sea to mountain top was once a thick, dense, rich forest with precious wood like mahogany, cedar, lignon vitae. Today people don't even know what lignon vitae is. And we have lignon, that's the tree that is going around the perimeter.
Gumbo limbo.
No, don't talk about those. The lignon vitae, that tree that goes around the perimeter of the Springfield Cemetery. Precious wood. And those guys came.
One of the densest woods in the world.
Now, when the Europeans came, what were they looking for? They're looking for land, but they were looking for resources because they had already depleted their forests.
And to repair their ships after a long journey.
So, therefore, it was precious back then. It is still precious today. Now, that is why we need to preserve what we have. But then I'm still seeing, Mr. Hanley, a lot of ills when it comes to the Central Forest Reserve. Persons leave to go on the hiking trails. You get up early, you put on a backpack, and you're going to enjoy nature. That's what is inside there. Nature is natural, pristine, breathe good air. Find one or two wild fruits. Right now, Crater Trail have some fruits on top there, the choky apple, the canistel. I went there on Monday, and let me tell you, I got a lot, even if there was not see one or two. To enjoy all of these.
At the top and going down into the crater itself, there are these little raspberries.
The raspberries. Yeah. Now, you see, you got to know when these things in season. Because raspberries in season are going to give the secret now.
Yeah.
Around Easter time. Yes. That's the season for them. Now, you leave, you're going on this journey with friends, relatives, to enjoy nature. But then you're going to put in your backpack a tin of spray paint. What are you going to spray? You ain't a painter. There's nothing up there for you to paint. Now, I was away and someone sent me a link to a Facebook page. A group went up, and this group showing videos, showing photos where they use spray paint to mark markings. And they're proud, follow the VM. And they go up even down in the crater on the wall and the stone, VM, and they're taking pictures.
So what was that in aid of?
Just showing that VM was there.
Just to signify their presence.
Their presence. No.
And so, next group comes up, different color paint, and LR.
No, this
Another
same
group
group
comes up.
Well, I went up myself because the images I saw were showing me one color paint. I went up on Monday last, and they actually were using two different color paints, a yellow and a blue. And it was not just on the rocks at the crater itself, it was along the trail as well. Ever so often as you take steps, VM. I got upset, and under the Facebook posted, I was not too nice with my comment. I really bashed them. It's distasteful and everything. Now, the thing is...
But can they be traced and some kind of reprimand or justification be had by...
No, well, the department, I brought it to the attention of the director, and we, on, I think it was Wednesday, today's Friday, right? I took a letter and I personally delivered it to the head of the group. And the letter basically is telling them they have 14 days to go and remove those markings. When I went to him, he was telling me it's washable paint and that somebody said that they was not there. I tell him, no.
They'll go and wash it off.
So now they would have, I did not elaborate much with him because everything was in the letter. And the thing is, if it's washable paint, it's in his favor.
Yeah.
When they go and they wash it off easy.
That's what I say. If it's
what
washable, go and wash it off.
What I want to tell folks, washable or no washable, the only paint marking supposed to be on the trail is what we put on it. We are authorized to do that.
Right.
And the markings are there for a purpose that we put down is so that person would not get lost, to show the way. And the paint that we use is formulated for that environment. Now, the paint that you use, that you normally get from the
Paint store.
Many of them are lead-based or heavy metal in them. That is not good for that environment. Not just because you mark it. It's not supposed to be in that environment. And so, therefore, these are considered to be pollutants. Now, according to NSEMA, which is our legislation, those are considered to be pollutants. And I want to permit me to read that there are penalties for this.
Definitely. That's what I was asking about. I want to hear about the penalties.
Now, whenever here, I'm going to tell you, upon conviction, right, you could have one. A fine not exceeding $50,000.
Okay.
Or imprisonment for 3 months for a first offense. Or B, to a fine not exceeding $100,000 or imprisonment of 1 year for a second or further offense. It doesn't stop there. C, in the case of a continuing offense, to a further penalty of $500 for each day during which the offense continues. Now, speaking to the young man, I caught the conversation because for him to, he has not read the letter as yet. This is what I'm reading here is actually what is in the letter to him. Because once he gets that letter, that time starts, the clock starts ticking. Right? And so therefore, if he does not comply, whatever arguments, because he says he's going to respond to the letter, I don't know how he's going to respond to the letter. The only response is for him to go
and
and
rectify
remove
this
it.
situation.
But if at the end, regardless to what he does, even if he goes to a lawyer or whatever, it's no concern of mine. He does what he wants to do. At the end of 14 days, I will go back and I will make my check. And Mr. Hanley, if one marking is left, we shall proceed with legal actions.
We got to show people that they're serious.
Right? It was done.
Go ahead.
It was done last year, but in this case, I captured it when I went on the trail. But last year, I did not know who, up to this day, who were responsible. I went on the social media that everybody liked, the Facebook, and I put it down and everything. Because I do not want it to be set as a precedence that persons would think that they can just go and do that. Now imagine they do that, they put it on Facebook, they put it on Instagram, and other persons see that. But I want to put down mine too.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I end up not with a hiking trail, natural, but I end up with a wall of graffiti. And that's what I'm going to call it. It's not art. You want to do art, go on a wall somewhere and do something nice and
That's designated for
for that. The forest is not for that. Persons have carved in trees. I don't really like persons carving in trees, but I'm not fussing so much about that because the tree many times will take care of itself.
It heals itself.
It heals itself, right? But foreign material, foreign substances, these pollutants.
Because on many of these trees in the forest, they are literally ecosystems.
Right.
Because on the tree's trunk are growing other organisms and plants.
I was getting
that
right into that.
use the tree as a habitat.
But then even these mosses and ferns that you see growing on trees, I want to tell folks that each plant has a role to play inside there. So even if you see one holding on a tree, in most cases, they are not harming the host.
Exactly. It's a natural symbiosis.
Symbiosis, right? Some hold them on like the sarsaparilla. You're going to see many times, you see sarsaparilla by itself on the ground. But most of the time, sarsaparilla hangs on climbs, right? And use that tree for support. It is not harming the tree that it's on. The tree is not gaining anything from it. But he is gaining support. So when you see these things, that is how the relationship, we could learn from the forest. They lean on each other. Unlike us, we fight one another and want to pull apart.
That's what we call it an ecosystem. It's a system that everything takes its place, its rightful place, in balance with each other.
Oh, I like that word. Balance. But when you bring in these foreign substances, you're throwing the whole scale off balance.
Off balance.
They do not belong inside there.
Interfering with the natural order of things.
So therefore, even when you wash off the paint, it is still in the environment. So you wash it off the rock, you wash it off the
trunk of
the trunk of the tree, but it goes into the soil. Thank God the soil may have organisms that could break it down.
Yeah.
But break it down to what? It may harm other micro and macro organisms that in the soil. That is remember, soil is different to dirt. What's the difference? Soil is alive.
Soil is organic.
Right, and it's alive. Whereas dirt is just mineral.
Yeah.
Right? So the soil in there have organisms in there that is of utmost importance to maintaining that ecosystem. But then you're sending the paint inside there.
Gone again. Yeah.
Right? So therefore, the thing also that concerning to me is that the group that did it is actually a cultural group. It's actually one of the folklore groups. The VM is the initials of that group. And that group there is a group that I like because I like what they're doing. They have a lot of youngsters in it. And they're passing down this cultural tradition to the youngsters. I like that. But it also says to me that they are not fully educated on what is culture, what is cultural heritage.
And the natural heritage.
And the
particular.
natural heritage.
What they're dealing with is cultural heritage in terms of
Art form.
But there's cultural heritage in terms of food, and in heritage we call it intangible cultural
heritage. Yeah. Whereas we have a tangible one, which is the forest. And so
that now is natural heritage.
That is natural. Now you find, so that was quite upsetting to me, to see that is this group. The other thing that is upsetting to me is that the youngsters are put in care of this gentleman and other adults who should know better, who should be guiding these youngsters to do better, but you are leading them because the lead of the group was one of them who was actually doing the markings. It's not like the little boys them were being rebellious and doing their own thing. He himself was also doing the markings. And now you are entrusted with the care of these were entrusted to you, but this is what you lead them into. Such a thing cannot be overlooked. Why here on the air? I want the general public to know that it is a serious matter when it comes to conserving, protecting our natural heritage.
I agree.
You can't just come into the forest and do as you like. There are rules, but at the same time, the best rule is when you are knowledgeable.
And in tune.
And
responsible.
Responsible for. Think of it this way. Why you leave home? Go walk up a trail. Why? Why you leave home to walk up a trail? You go in volcano. I've been with person who went to do the Ampan and they say ain't going back. I have never been to the summit. I do not know the trail to the summit. But the person who have been there want to go back with me.
I've been there about 3 times.
Well, let's go back again now. I want to know the trail. But the thing is, what would make you want to go and do this? Now, if you decide you're going and do this, why go and destroy it? You don't think other people want to enjoy it as well?
This might sound thing, but when I go on hikes to some of these trails, Crater, Dudon Pond, Wingfield,
Old Military,
all of them, in my backpack, I tend to put about maybe 2 or 3 plastic bags. Well, of course, that's when we used to use plastic bags. We'll have to find something else now. But these were simply because I know as you go along the trail, you'll find people are littering. They drink their water. Yes, it's necessary to carry water. But you drink your water, the same bag you took that bottle out of with the water, you put the bottle back in. And you carry it back down.
But it's later now.
You open a
snack
bar, right? And they just simply throw the wrapping on the ground and eat the thing. No, the same wrapper that you took off it, put it in your backpack again.
But you came with a heavy bag. You don't drink out the water.
It's lighter.
It's much lighter.
Right? But you're making sure that you don't contaminate the forest. And therefore, when other people are going, and think about it, if 5 hikers today dropped bottles on the trail, let's say 5 bottles. Tomorrow, 5 more drop bottles. And 365 days later, you
can't walk on the trail.
How many hundreds of bottles you'll have on that trail, or thousands of bottles?
But you ain't gonna be walking. You're gonna be walking on a dump heap.
Bottles, yeah.
It's a dump heap.
Along with all the other debris. And the only thing whenever, and this is again about responsibility. Whenever I go on hikes like this, I always instruct my hikers. The only thing we're gonna leave behind is footprints. Nothing that we are carrying in our backpacks is to be left on the trail. We bring everything back down, except what we consume.
Leave it how you want to meet it.
Exactly.
Leave it how you want to meet it.
That's right.
If you go up there and you want to breathe good air, bear this in mind. What these foreign substances or objects going to do. They have chemicals in them that would adversely affect your plant and animal species. Also, as they are those that they're going to break down, as they're breaking down, you're going to lose the forest scent and you're going to get the foul scent of these foreign substances being released. Forests and even the guts by extension, because the guts are an extension of the forest. Persons going and they're dumping garbage.
Yeah.
In the guts and
I've seen people go, and it's amazing to me because Connery, the designated dump site, is so easy and accessible. But people travel up the mountain.
Difficult
in a
areas.
truck or a pickup to dump garbage.
Risking
in a gut
damage
side.
to their vehicle.
Yeah.
To dump garbage
And
in
I'm
a
like,
gut.
and don't they realize that all is going to happen? Well, not all, because a lot's going to happen. Is that in the end, a lot of that garbage is going to come right back down to the lowlands where it came from and going to the sea
Going
also.
to the sea also. Now, many times you go, you ever stop to realize how much beach cleanups we don't have a year time?
Yeah.
Where the garbage coming from?
Well, a lot of it comes from those same guts and comes down. But what is happening too is that a lot of it is coming from other islands where the currents bring it across, which goes to tell us that our garbage that goes down to the ocean might not stay on our shores, but might go to other places and contaminate them with our garbage. Do we want that? You know, we don't want that.
We do not want that. And it all stems from us being conscious and responsible. And we are calling on folks, come and enjoy the forest. We well want people to come and enjoy the forest.
But leave it as you found it.
But leave it pristine.
Or better than, because when I say I carry those bags, it's to pick up the garbage that I find that I didn't put there.
You didn't put there.
Because I want it the way I want it to be.
Exactly. Right? So right now we are trying to enhance that and to have more control. And we have started with the Creator Trail. Parking was an issue. We now have a new parking lot.
Okay, good.
Yes, we created a wide, right? And we have picnic benches down there now so you can relax. And we intend to put a hut that would service also where we could have more control and as well as security along those trails, that trail that we have there. We always want to partner with persons, especially the communities. Come on, be with us. Come, join us, do your part. Spread the word about conservation, protection of our natural heritage.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Brown. Our time is up, but we had a good conversation, and I think we're going to find a time to continue that conversation another time, maybe even expanding into some of the other things that we didn't get to talk about. So thank you very much, Dr. Eric Brown, for being with us today. We really appreciate your presence and your thoughts and your information that you shared. Thanks once again.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate having the invitation.
Okay.
And I'm willing to come back anytime.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much for helping me to educate our people.
Wonderful. And that's part of the object of this program.
You found